What up, play you haters? It's your boy, the hater, up in this piece. And we're going to talk a little bit about Aew Revolution. You know, I mean, every time AEW does a pay-per-view, if you read, like, the Wikipedia, if you read, other publications, I guess, that talk about wrestling, they always get, like, really good reviews, you know? Like, if you look at, like, Full Gear, for example, let's look at what Full Gear says on Wikipedia up in this bitch. Full Gear received positive reviews from critics. Alright, let's look at, what's the other one? All Out, motherfuckers! All Out, what did All Out receive? Let's see, reception. All Out, best ever, tickets sold live, critical acclaim for All Out. You know, so there's obviously a trend here, and the trend is the trend that we've been seeing since the first day of AEW, you know what I mean? The reality is that places and companies like AEW get a boost in, like, their prestige just because they're indies. And to some degree, I will have to say, this makes sense, right? Because if you have, like, WWE, which has a very high production budget, right? And then you have TNA or AEW or, ROH back when they still existed up in this bitch, Like, if you have these companies and they do comparable shows, like, in other words, if TNA is doing a great show, you know what I'm saying? If they're doing an incredible show, but they have, like, the TNA budget, not the WWE budget, I mean, that says something, right? It shows that the company is doing well. So if the shows were of the same quality, it would be like, okay, one company is worse than the other, so the fact that they can kind of compete is very impressive, right? That's how people would view and review TNA pay-per-views. You'd see, like, I don't know, Sacrifice or whatever, and you'd be like, okay, well, considering everything, considering that, like, they don't have John Cena and Batista, and they have to settle for, like, Shark Boy and shit like that, that was a pretty good event. So I'm not even, like, worried about that. That I understand. My issue is that, number one, AEW has a big budget. They're obviously a big budget company. And two, the pay-per-views aren't good, motherfuckers. So, without further ado, let's go over the pay-per-view up in this piece. There was 3 dark matches. Layla Hirsch beats Chris Statlander. Obviously, I didn't see this. Who cares? Layla Hirsch is like 4'5". Chris Statlander, like, I don't even understand what she is now. She was like an alien. Now she's just like a girl that hangs out with her best friend. So, I don't know. Then Hook, which is one of my favorite wrestlers in AEW, beat QT Marshall. And then we had the House of Cucks, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Murphy from fucking Raw. Murphy. Remember when people thought that Buddy Murphy should be like, beating Roman Reigns and all this stupid crap? So, there you go. You know what I mean? They beat Pac, Penta Oscuro, which is Pentagon, the same motherfucker, and Eric Redbeard. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know what to say about this. This is a match that, in my opinion, should not have been a pre-show match. I'd rather have this be the main event of Dynamite because a lot of these guys, even though they're jobbers, like I don't like almost anyone here, I do like Pac and I do like Pentagon. And Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews should be presented as stars. At least some of them. And they're not, so it is what it is. Then came a match that I want to hate, but it was an okay match. The only problem with this match, and I'm talking about Eddie Kingston versus Jericho, the only problem with this match is that Jericho has beaten people like Undertaker. Jericho has beaten Triple H. Jericho has beaten The Rock and Stone Cold on the same night. Jericho has beaten Kurt Angle, And now Eddie Kingston is giving him problems? You know what I mean? Like, it's almost ridiculous. The whole match was presented as Eddie Kingston has never won the big one. And this is his chance to win the big one. And he did. He beat Jericho by submission. He did like the stretch plum, which is basically just like an arm stretch, almost like a sitting arm bar, right? And I didn't like it because I thought Jericho should have won this match. What's the point of Jericho if he's not going to win and do things that are interesting, right? Like Eddie Kingston, even though he won the big one, this does not raise his profile at all. One thing that I found very strange is that AEW, their pay-per-views are very weird. Like, since they only have like 4, a month, it's very, very odd how they space them out. And who they decide is going to be on the main event. Like, alright, Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage, I get it, that makes sense. But like, John Moxie versus Eddie Kingston and in the main event is ridiculous, None of that shit makes sense. So, as a result, I don't know how I feel about this match. The match itself was okay. It was good considering, like, everything. But I don't like the finish, and I don't like what the conclusion of the storyline is. Then Eddie Kingston, like, tried to shake Jericho's hand. and Jericho refused to, which is the right move. I don't understand, like, Eddie Kingston was like, shake my hand. Like, dude, you just had, like, your biggest win in your career. Like, you're not equals to Jericho. You know, he's like, shake my hand. Like, be a man, shake my hand. Like, I beat you fair and square. Like, dude, shut up. Like, Jericho's a legend, and Eddie Kingston's a nobody. Then we had the Jurassic Express beating Red Dragon and the Young Cucks. This was your typical AEW tag team endeavor. It was a 3-way tag team match, but nevertheless, the formula stayed the same. You know, it's basically like a fucking 6-man, you know, brawl for, like, you know, like super brawl. Just people fighting each other for no reason. And then eventually, there's a lot of false finishes and a lot of last-second pin breaks, which is fine. You know, nothing crazy here. The match just, to me, fell flat because I don't really see Jurassic Express as being like a legitimate tag team. You know what I mean? I just don't see him as that. Like, I see Jungle Boy as a star, and I see Luchasaurus as a comedy character. So I would have thought that Red Dragon should have won. And if not, don't even have the match. You know? Just Jurassic Express needs to drop the titles. Doesn't really matter. Then we had Wardlow, Christian, Orange Cassidy, Keith Lee, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Ricky Starks. You know, and they did a ladder match, and the winner gets an AEW TNT Championship match. Like, they don't even get, motherfucks, they don't even get, like, a title shot at the real title. You know, they get a title shot at the mid-card title. I don't understand this. Like, Sammy Guevara, who I believe is still the TNT champion, wasn't on this card. Why not just put Sammy Guevara in here, you know what I mean, and just make this ladder match for the title? Because it doesn't make any sense, motherfucks. It doesn't make any sense to have, like, a 6-man ladder match to determine the person who's going to fight the guy who's not good enough to be on the pay-per-view. You know, it doesn't make any sense. And honestly, literally everyone in this match, except for, of course, Orange Cassidy, who's garbage, everyone here is a better choice to be champion than Sammy Guevara. Literally everyone, you know? I personally would have gone, I mean, I knew that it was going to be Wardlow or Keith Lee. Those were the only two options that I thought were viable. But I would have liked to see Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs become the mid-card champion. Ricky Starks already is the FCW champion. And then, you know, they can go from there. But, I mean, the match was what it was. It wasn't anything special. I would say that out of all the matches, this match was the one with the most star power, right? This match felt like a big deal. Like, everyone here is either a legend, like Christian Cage, or an up-and-comer, like Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks, or a former WWE guy who was kind of a big deal in NXT, or Orange Cassidy, who's very, very over. All these people could conceivably be in a main event, you know? And this match was good for that reason. And Wardlow winning is the right thing to do. Obviously, it would make more sense if Wardlow gets the title from, like, MJF or something. I don't know. That would be more entertaining, but it is what it is. Then we had Jade Cargill versus Ty Conte for the Women's Intercontinental title, whatever the fuck they call it. Jade Cargill wins. The fact that this match happened is good, I guess, because it does give some, you know, some parity between this title and the other title. But, you know, obviously, everybody knew Jade Cargill is going to win. Whoever beats her is going to get an instant push. Ty Conte, I like her, but whatever, you know. MJF versus CM Punk. The match, there was blood involved. You know, I can't say that I didn't like the match. I don't like that CM Punk won. I don't think it adds anything, but whatever, you know, like, insofar as pay-per-view goes, this match was a good match. It was a pay-per-view caliber match, you know what I mean? And I don't just mean in the actual match, but it was a pay-per-view caliber match in the context of, like, there actually was some sort of build-up and a story. Not like, for example, Eddie Kingston versus Jericho, where there really was no story. Like, you know, it was just, like, basically one day, Eddie Kingston's like, yeah, I'm friends with, like, Santana and Ortiz because we're all, like, from Puerto Rico or whatever. Bullshit, you know? Like, that was the whole feud, and Jericho's like, stay away from me. Like, that's not a feud. Then we had Dr. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. I don't like Dr. Britt Baker. I think she's one of the worst champions in wrestling history, personally. But, I mean, I have to say it like it is. She did wrestle here, finally. It feels like she hasn't wrestled in months. You know, I don't know what it is about her. It just feels like she never wrestles. You know? So, she did wrestle. The match was whatever it was. Who gives a flying fuck? Then we had Moxley and Daniel Bryan. And let's just get to the point here. This match is completely meaningless. And you want to know why? Because at the end, Regal comes out. Oh, big fucking deal, Regal. I would like to see Regal wrestle. That'd be kind of nice. But Regal comes out and basically it appears that they're gonna because they don't like each other, right? But obviously Daniel Bryan wants to be friends with Moxley and like become like a dojo almost, right? And with Regal, it makes a lot of sense, and I would be curious to see where that goes. Like a faction with William Regal, Moxley, and Daniel Bryan is entertaining. Like I could see that being very, very entertaining. Problem is the fact that Jon Moxley won and the fact that Daniel Bryan has lost is immaterial because the same thing could have happened if Daniel Bryan won and Moxley lost. The same exact story would unfold. It's like those video games that ask you to make a choice, but no matter what choice you make, the game goes to the same exact path. What's the point of the choice, right? It's like that. I would have personally liked to see this match not happen at all, have like a segment happen between Moxley and Daniel Bryan involving William Regal on Dynamite, and then at the pay-per-view, one of the opening matches could be Jon Moxley and Daniel Bryan versus Big Shotty Lee Johnson and Aaron Solo, who are friends again, or something like that, right? The point being, then they squash someone, and then they declare themselves, right? Maybe even make it a 6-man tag if you want to have Regal in there, and just have Regal get tagged in once, do like a knee trembler, and that's it, That'd be nice to see. But this match added nothing, this match is exactly the problem that I highlighted in one of my previous videos. Like this idea that wrestling is what matters. No, the storyline is what matters. And you don't need the 20 minutes that this match took up to have the storyline develop. You don't need it, motherfuckers. Then we had, that's right, Sammy Guevara was here. I forgot completely. Yeah, it's Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Stang versus the Andrade Hardy family office. Now, personally, I was hoping, because I knew that when the match was booked, it was going to be Andrade, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy. And I thought, Isaiah Cassidy sucks. Who the fuck cares about this guy? So I figured possibly, during the night, Isaiah Cassidy gets attacked, and this would be a great way to bring out Jeff Hardy. And have Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin in the ring at the same time. Have Jeff Hardy versus Sting in the ring at the same time. I honestly believe this is probably what they wanted to do. They just put Isaiah Cassidy there as a placeholder, and they couldn't get the whole Hardy thing worked out, so that's what happened. Because that when Hardy, when Jeff Hardy comes to the company, there's two things that are going to happen. He's gonna interact with Matt in some capacity. Maybe he'll be a face, or maybe he'll join Matt and be heels. And he will invariably have a match against Darby Allin and or Sting. Those things are gonna happen when Jeff Hardy comes. And those are things that I actually look forward to. Like, I want to see Jeff Hardy versus Sting again. I want to see Jeff Hardy versus Darby. That'd be kind of cool. Then we had the main event that should have never happened. Adam Page versus Adam Cole. The entire storyline here is who's the better Adam. I mean, you can't make this shit up, motherfuckers. Who's the better Adam? Who gives a flying fuck? You know what I mean? They're both jobbers. They act as if when they were part of Bullet Club in New Japan, that they were like these two big stars. No, they were like the 9th most important guy in Bullet Club and the 10th most important guy in Bullet Club. They were not important at all. Like, everyone was more important. Like AJ Styles was more important. I think they overlap with Adam Cole. AJ Styles was more important. Kucky Omega was more important. The Young Cucks, Gallows and Anderson, more important. They were like in the level of like Yujiro Takahashi. Like, they're like on that level of like nobody gives a fuck. Bad Luck Fale was more important. Tama Tonga was more important. There's so many people that were more important. So like the idea that like at one point Adam Cole was like the 9th most important member of Bullet Club and Adam Page was the 10th most important, and now Adam Page feels like he surpassed him and he's the other Adam. Doesn't fucking matter. They're both jobbers. Also, the Adam Cole's size is unacceptable, motherfuckers. It is unacceptable. This guy is incredibly small. Like, I think in real life, Adam Cole weighs like 140 pounds. He is a small and tiny guy. Like, it's not even like his height, because he might be like 6 foot. Who knows? He's not, but let's say he is. Like, he has zero muscle on him. This guy does not go to the gym. He doesn't have anything going for him anymore. This guy needs to, in my opinion, needs to go hit the bench press, do some squats, because I think I can kick this guy's ass, and like I could beat him in like an arm wrestling match, and I could do whatever I want to him. So, the facts are what the facts are. Adam Cole does not feel like a main eventer, and he never has. And Adam Page, I mean, I'm not really convinced. He's like a champion the way that Big E was a champion, where it's like you're just waiting for Big E to drop the title to someone better. And likewise, I'm just waiting to see Adam Page drop the title to someone else. Like, if you want like a young guy champion, give us MJF. That's at least more interesting. Heels are more interesting than faces as champions. But it's neither here nor there. It is what it is. Fuck everyone and fuck this company. The show, I cannot say the show was bad, but I have to give it a C. And the reason I'm giving it a C is very, very simple. it just did not feel, except for the ladder match, it just did not feel like a pay-per-view. It felt, at best, like one of those, like, every couple of weeks or every 3 weeks or so, AEW will have, like, instead of Dynamite, it'll be like winter is coming or some bullshit like that, you know? Like, it felt like one of those. Like a special event, but I can't say that it was bad, you know? Like, WWE pay-per-views, the ones that are not gimmicky, you know, like, obviously, Elimination Chamber, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, these are, like, entertaining ones. But, you know, if you're looking at, like, WWE Over the Top or whatever the fuck it's called, like, Great Balls of Fire, like, these pay-per-views with no actual, like, gimmicks, like, this was a better pay-per-view than those, at least. You know, because in those, you just see the same thing you saw on Raw. Like, I bet you that, like, one of the matches at the last WWE pay-per-view that had no name, you know, that had no, like, gimmick, was probably Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. I mean, how many times did we see that last year? Every fucking week, every fucking pay-per-view. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. You know, at least in AEW, they are trying to keep things interesting. This pay-per-view, in my opinion, went a little too far in doing that because they had all these, like, multi-man matches. But at least I'm seeing things that I haven't seen. You know, WWE needs to get its shit together, basically, is what I'm saying. The pay-per-view wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. And with that being said, motherfucks, I don't know when I'm going to upload this video, but very soon I'm going to do a live stream of me playing fucking, what's it called? WWE 2K22. So recognize that, motherfucks. And with that being said, I'll talk to you later up in this bitch.